Hello and welcome to Developing a Research Training Plan, Short Topics Talk Number 1. I'm Dr. Mark Williamson from the Biostatistics, Epidemiology, and Research Design Core at the University of North Dakota. So, the rationale behind this talk is that it's really important to be able to continually expand your research expertise, learn new things, grow in your knowledge and competencies. However, that's kind of challenging, especially doing it in a disciplined and consistent manner, especially if you're busy trying to get everything else done, like research, teaching, etc. So this talk is meant to have some ideas for success. So I'm going to be using a framework called the Atomic Habit Way. So this is based off the best-selling book by James Clear, Atomic Habits, a way to really develop and sustain good habits. So as you set up your research training plan, keep these 4 ideas in mind. I think these are really helpful to develop any sort of habit, especially the habit I'm trying to help you with today, a research training plan. So the first topic or first idea is to make it obvious. The second idea is to make it attractive. Maybe like something like this. Oh yeah, look at that. What else? Ooh, oh yeah, that's attractive. Beautiful landscape. All right, moving on. Third one, make it easy. Now, it doesn't have to be difficult. It can be quite easy to do bit by bit. Boom. And fourth, make it satisfying. All right, let's see these in action. So, first of all, we need to have some potential targets. So you could try to increase your training in all sorts of things. I'm going to kind of whittle it down to 2 kind of conceptual areas. Again, kind of keeping those 4 ideas, obvious, attractive, satisfying, and easy, in the back of our minds here. So the 2 kind of schemas, one would be topics, so more like specific areas of research. So it could be something like expanding your current expertise, going into a new expertise. Maybe you could think of more interdisciplinary, sort of combining 2 expertises, etc. This isn't exhaustive. These are just sort of conceptual. The other main target kind of class I could think of is more like tools rather than a specific topic, but more like a thing you can use regardless. So this might be a new methodology, could be new software, could also be something like database access, etc. So maybe like just jot down some ideas here for each of these. So maybe for the topics, maybe if you have a current expertise, perhaps you are a cancer biologist and you still study prostate cancer. Maybe, let's see, 8. You want to branch out to something like bone cancer because prostate cancer often metastasizes to the bones. Maybe with a new expertise, you want to learn something new. I'm currently really getting back into bioinformatics. That's a fascinating field, especially with like microbiome. Interdisciplinary could be putting together something you're already familiar with maybe a new discipline. For example, I'm really interested right now in 3D printing or additive manufacturing and epidemiology, so like health sciences. So let's just draw a little DNA molecule for that. For tools, could be a new methodology. For example, I might be trying to look into doing like a nematode neurological model. So I need to know how to detect neurological behavior in nematodes. That's definitely a new methodology. For software, I often like to browse new R packages to see what's up and coming in databases. For example, of that, I know Dried is a popular database for papers. I could look into new databases that I could use or sources of data sets. So those are some examples there. Now that we've gotten some ideas for potential targets, let's talk about putting together resources. So again, keeping that obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying metric in mind. First of all, you could certainly have written material. This can come in all sorts of forms like library books, journal articles, blogs, manuals. I particularly find written materials when it comes to physical books as one of the obvious ideas, because then you have it, like for example, say bioinformatics, you have them, they're physical, they're right here, you can throw them on your table. It's obvious that they're there and you can look through it at your leisure. Another thing you can do is personal, so perhaps you have a mentor or a colleague that you can talk with and work through, and that would be an attractive idea, be able to be interested in learning from someone and having that human-to-human dialogue. For example, I'm going to be trying to meet with a fellow colleague who really has a wonderful grasp on power analysis. She invited to show me a software package that she uses for that, so I'm hoping to do that in the future. Another way to pull together resources is videos. All sorts of YouTube videos, also like webinars, training videos on certain platforms. And this is a great point of the easy idea, because really all you have to do is sit down and pay attention. It's fairly passive, and you can really pick up a lot of ideas and get yourself going. Just put on some headphones, maybe grab some snacks, and you're off to the races. And finally, practice. Let me finish my nut here. A good way to actually apply what you've learned, especially when it comes to like learning code or software, you can look into doing concept checks, or especially like specific projects to learn, or even like training programs, especially again for code like DaCCoTA, Coursera for just general knowledge, Code Academy, whatever. And really that's a great way to, as I would say, kind of get your hands dirty with applying that knowledge you're hoping to cement in your mind. Righty-dighty, let's talk about drafting the plan. So first of all, you should really be able to write it out. I sometimes use PowerPoint because I like to be able to move things around, but also index cards is a great thing to write it out. And this is a good point to put the obvious there, is to put it in writing, maybe on an index card. And then it's right there, concrete, you can have it right next to you. Another thing, you want to probably organize it, maybe make it the most relevant or exciting first, kind of build it a way that fits you best. So this is a great way to work in making it attractive. Start with the low-hanging fruit first before moving on to something else. So having a good organization. Another thing here, scheduling. It's good to schedule it out so you actually do it. Maybe have a consistent day. Set yourself some helpful reminders. I really like calendar reminders, either on my phone or on my work email. You can send yourself emails, all sorts of things. That's a great way to keep you on schedule, and that is a part of the idea of making it easy. So if you kind of outsource to your future self consistency, you don't have to try to always remember to do it and work yourself to it if you kind of know when you're going to do it at each time and you're reminded. And then finally, for a plan, it's helpful to build in rewards. And these don't have to be complex rewards. Maybe it's leisure time after you complete things. Maybe it's a fun activity you like to do. Or maybe it's something just as simple as coffee. That always motivates me. And this certainly falls into the satisfying category. If you can make your training plan satisfying, you'll want to keep doing it and build that habit. Just like my habit of drinking coffee. So now that I've went through this, let's take a look at some examples. So I have a plan 1 here is more the topic area, the microbiomes and epidemiology. I'm interested in that. So here's a hypothetical plan I've put together. So items start by watching the human microbiome on YouTube, then read 2 papers on cutting-edge research, read 1 GitHub documentation on our approach, find 3 bioconductor modules, think up 3 research ideas about microbiomes and epidemiology, and then find at least 2 publicly available datasets to try analyses out on. And the follow-through to make this reality, scheduling, I thought about doing it twice a week, last hour of the day, and then having a calendar reminder. And then reward is, well, why not do a coffee drink after each item checked off? And then having an afternoon off after all the items are completed. So let's walk through a couple of the areas where the obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying come in. So obvious, one thing I really like to do is make it as concrete as possible and having numeric things. Like it's not just read some papers, it's read 2 papers. Read 1 documentation. Having very concrete things makes it obvious. I also like making it obvious with reminders. Making it attractive, I try to start with something easy and interesting. So a video is a great way to start that out, kind of make it attractive. Make it easy, I try to do kind of that step-by-step, only twice a week. Not too much in each step. And then finally satisfying, something, obviously the rewards, that's a satisfaction thing, but also having sort of the culmination of these intellectually satisfying ideas plus application. I get to think of really cool ideas and try to apply them, and that's really satisfying to sort of have a capstone to this training plan. Okay, here's a second example, more on the tool side of it, multivariate modeling updating. Now, I've done some research, or not so much research, but training on multivariate modeling, though it's always been kind of my weak point, and I want to be able to get better at it. So this is my setup of items. First, I review the material I've already done, watch 2 YouTube videos, one on concepts, the other on application, read 3 vignettes of R packages, because I might be doing it in R, read 3 sections of SAS documentation, because I could also do it in SAS, read 3 journal articles from a variety of fields on multivariate modeling, kind of see it in different applications, recreate a multivariate model in R and SAS, and then create an infographic with the steps of multivariate modeling. Some follow-through I could hypothetically do to keep me on track is schedule just once a week, first thing on Monday, and have an email reminder. And then reward could be some leisure reading after each item checked out, and then maybe go out to eat for a nice lunch after all the items are completed. Again, we can see what's obvious. There's specific numbers of tasks. There's reminders. Attractive, started with a video or easily digested material that I've already done. Easy, kept it to once a week and try to keep things as concrete as possible. And then satisfying, again, kind of have this culminating infographic, kind of show my work, and then have working code that I can recreate, having that go-to code for future actual analyses. Okay, with that, thank you very much. Again, I'm Mark Williamson for the University of North Dakota, and as part of this, I'm supported through the DaCCoTA grant, so please, if you find this helpful, please acknowledge us, but I really hope that this kind of short topics talk helps get you ideas about how to develop your own research training plans and stick with it. Have a great day, and science on.